In Kansas City, they passed a 5-year moratorium on any non-municipal detention facility of any kind being built in Kansas City. That moratorium is designed specifically to stop Trump from putting a prison camp in Kansas City. They say they're ready to defend that in court. And meanwhile, the local real estate company in Kansas City that has reportedly been working with ICE to try to site this prison camp in Kansas City. Well, the local port district in Kansas City is considering cutting off all business with that company in response to their work with ICE. I should also say that local company is just getting dragged through it in the local press. Headline, the Kansas City Star, quote, "The brothers behind Platform Ventures could choose not to sell out Kansas City to ICE." From that op-ed, quote, "Drop the deal. Eat the embarrassment, find another buyer, make a clean break, and say plainly that you don't want your legacy tied to masked men hauling people out of their homes and into warehouses on the edge of town. The alternative is a lifetime of being whispered about behind your backs, everywhere from church fundraisers to the crown seats at the Royals game. People remember, you aren't breaking the law. But you also could choose not to be the villain in this story. You could decide not to treat this moment as just another business transaction. People would remember that too." That's Kansas City. Again, the mayor will be here in just a moment. Tonight's show. Surprise, Arizona. ICE has already bought a warehouse in Surprise, Arizona to develop apparently into a huge prison camp there. But more than 1,000 people turned out in Surprise, Arizona this weekend to say, don't do it, we don't want it here. In Tucson, Arizona, the local press says 6,000 people packed the downtown protesting against ICE this weekend. But hey, Tucson, just a half hour outside Tucson in Marana, Arizona, M-A-R-A-N-A, just northwest of Tucson. Locals there are protesting. This is Pima County. There's a group that's formed there against a planned Trump prison camp in Marana, Arizona. It's called Price for Pima Resists ICE. They've got a petition going. They're doing everything they can to try to stop a Trump prison camp from going in there as well. Again, that's just a half an hour from Tucson. Near Hagerstown, Maryland, in a place called Williamsport, ICE has already bought the warehouse there that they want to turn into a huge Trump prison camp. We have seen U.S. senators and members of Congress and locals protesting to try to stop that just outside Hagerstown, Maryland. But it's not the only place in Maryland. An hour and a half away from there in Howard County, Maryland, a place called Elkridge. ICE apparently wants to build another Trump prison camp there. Well, today, look at this. The Howard County, Maryland county executive, his name is Calvin Ball. Tonight, he announced that as of this evening, he is revoking the building permit for the facility where they were doing the build out to try to form a Trump prison camp there as well. Watch.
As we continue to witness the devastating consequences of federal enforcement actions across our nation, including loss of life and civil unrest, it is more important than ever that local government acts with clarity, restraint, and compassion. And it is our responsibility as local leaders to act before harm occurs and not after. Today, my Director of Inspections, Licenses, and Permits revoked the building permit for this detention center. Together, we will stand united, work collaboratively together, and safeguard our community and stand up for dignity. That concludes my remarks.
Concludes my remarks. That is the county executive of Howard County, Maryland. His name is Calvin Ball, announcing tonight that the county government is revoking the building permit for Trump's prison camp that they were trying to build in Elkridge, Maryland. If they build them, they will fill them. And there's different forms of leverage available for various facilities of these kinds, right? If they want to build them on military bases or in other facilities they've already got federal control of, there's little leverage to be able to stop them from building those facilities. Once they've built them or they got those facilities open, people absolutely can still show up and protest the heck out of those facilities, which you have seen even just over the last few days. For example, at the gates of the prison camp in Dilley, Texas. In Dilley, Texas, they're holding men, women, and children there. Dilley, Texas is where the prisoners themselves revolted inside the facility in peaceful protest last week, reportedly when they heard about the protests nationwide over what had happened in Minneapolis. Dilley, Texas is where 5-year-old Liam Ramos was sent from Minneapolis, before a judge this weekend ordered him and his father freed and sent home. But Dilley is where hundreds of other kids are still being held, and where there is now, the government admits, a measles outbreak. Oh, good. People have been protesting regularly at the gates of Dilley now in Texas. People have also been protesting regularly at Fort Bliss, at Camp East, Montana, where at least 3 people have died in just the past 2 months, including one man whose death has been ruled a homicide by the local medical examiner. I mean, in the existing prison camps they've got, Trump is already holding more than 73,000 people right now, which is a record. They want to build 16 new processing facilities and 7 new huge warehouse facility camps. If they build those, if they can build those 23 new facilities that they've said they want to build in these communities that I've been describing all over the country, if they can build those 23 new facilities, that'll give them the space to more than double the number of people they're holding in the camps. The biggest one they've got right now holds about 3,000 people. That's the one at Fort Bliss, where 3 people have died in the past 8 weeks. Again, about 3,000 people are there now. There's already people regularly dying there. 3,000 people there now. They want their new prison camps to be closer to 10,000 people. How do you think those facilities are going to be run? If they build them, they will fill them up. And yes, maybe they will use them for immigration detention now, whatever that is, their prison camps. But if history tells us anything, it tells us that once facilities like this are built in these kinds of numbers, once you get an archipelago of facilities like this built in numbers like this, yeah, they may start as immigration detention, but they're available to them indefinitely for whatever they want to do with those camps. And so you see something that has been mostly flying under the radar of the national media, but may absolutely be key to our destiny as a nation. Everywhere they are trying to build these things, including in the reddest states in the country, everywhere people are pulling out all the stops to prevent these camps from being built. And I have to tell you, if the country stops them from building them, they will never again have this kind of momentum to try to build a constellation of prison camps this large outside the reach of the law. I mean, why would we give this government that kind of power, that kind of tool to use indefinitely?